#1 New York Times and USA Today best-selling author Debbie Macomber's book, starting now. If you are just joining us, check out the playlist for chapters 1 through 10. Then, on Wednesday night, February 12th, at 9 p.m. Central Standard Time, we will be reading the next chapters. But where we left off, Libby had just talked to Lydia, her new friend, about one of the girls being pregnant. It made her feel helpless. She would give anything to take it all back. The last thing she wanted to do was hurt her new friend. But the problems were on her front porch steps. Then in chapter 10, Lydia went home and talked to her husband, Brad. The two of them sat down together and talked to their daughter, and they had came to the understanding it was Ava who was pregnant, and maybe Ava should be the one to talk to Libby. Now, let's take a sneak peek into chapter 11. High on enthusiasm, Libby's steps were lighter as she walked into Seattle General. When it rained, it poured, as the proverb went, and it was just as true of good news as bad. First, Sarah had phoned to say that Martha Reed was unhappy with Ben Holmes working on her account. Libby didn't mean to gloat, but she knew she was 10 times the trust and estate lawyer Ben Holmes was. Then second bit of positive news came as a complete surprise. Just that morning, Robin had ever so casually mentioned that a friend of hers might have a line on a job for Libby. When pressed, Robin had been reluctant to say much more, but she told Libby that she'd have her details when she had them. Although Robin had refused to answer questions, Libby suspected this friend was the very one the prosecutor had set her sights on. Now, let's take that sneak peek into chapter 12. Still shaken, Libby returned to her condo, sank into her sofa, and buried her face in her hands. It felt as if her entire world had crumbled at her feet. Seeing Joe and his son had been devastating, bringing into stark reality every single regret she had been struggling with lately. To make everything 10 times worse, Philip Stone had witnessed it all. To break down in front of him of all people, Libby wanted to crawl into bed, pull the covers over her head, and hibernate for the next 10 years. Join us this Wednesday, February 12th, for the next 2 chapters. Let's find out what transpires between Libby and Dr. Philip Stone.